Welcome to the deep dive. I am so glad you are joining us today because we have a really fascinating stack of material to get through today.
We really do. It is a big one.
Yeah. If you are someone who has ever stared at a blinking cursor or a hopelessly complex video editing timeline at 2 in the morning,
Oh, we've all been there.
right, and you just wished you could instantly turn your thoughts into a fully polished video without crashing your software, you are definitely in the right place.
Absolutely.
So today we are unpacking a brand new article. It was published literally today, March 10th, 2026, by Julian Goldie.
Hot off the presses.
Exactly. And the topic we are exploring is called AI Video Factory. We're looking at what could very well be the absolute end of manual video production bottlenecks.
It is a massive claim, but the tech backs it up.
It does. Our mission for this deep dive is to break down exactly how this tool works, who it is actually built for, and, the hidden mechanics operating behind the scenes to make it all possible.
Right, because it sounds like magic until you look under the hood.
Exactly. Okay, let's unpack this. What is it about this specific OpenClaw skill that is really catching your eye right out of the gate?
What's fascinating here is the sheer contrast between the output and the input.
How so?
Well, think about traditional high-quality video production. You have script writing, voiceover recording, you are hunting through stock libraries for B-roll, piecing it all together on a complex timeline.
Oh, and rendering, color grading, it takes forever.
Right. It is a highly visual, highly technical, and often just a chaotic process. And yet, the interface for AI Video Factory is starkly different.
It is just text.
It is a simple text-based terminal interface. You're controlling this incredibly complex multimedia output with nothing but basic lines of text. The dissonance between the simplicity of the command line and the richness of the final video is truly striking.
I want to challenge that simplicity for a second, though. I mean, we hear zero experience required a lot in the tech space.
Always with a huge asterisk.
Always. But looking at the breakdown of this workflow, it genuinely seems to bypass the traditional editing suite entirely. It is structured around a three-step workflow: input, configure, and generate. Let's walk through what a user actually does here. For step one, input, you are just providing a topic, a script, or even just plain text from a detailed brief.
That is the foundation. You are feeding the system your raw ideas. And then step two is configure.
Right. Setting the rules.
Exactly. This is where you establish the boundaries for the AI. You set preferences for the video's length, the overall style, the language for the voiceover, the visual tone, and the specific output format you need.
Which brings us to step three, generate. You execute the command, and a finished video comes out ready for YouTube, TikTok, LinkedIn, or a website.
Just like that.
Okay, I understand how you type the command, but I'm trying to picture the mechanics here. A single line of text can't just magically edit a video. How is the software actually bridging the gap between my text prompt and a fully rendered MP4?
It helps to think of it not as one giant AI brain doing everything, but as a highly coordinated system.
Okay, like a team.
Yes, it is an orchestration of specialized tools working in a relay race. First, you have language models, LLMs, that take your raw input. But they don't just write a script. They refine it for audio pacing.
Oh, so they format it for speech, not just text.
Precisely. They extract keywords and context clues. Then that script is handed off to text-to-speech, or TTS, engines. These create natural-sounding voiceovers that actually understand inflection and pausing.
So it doesn't sound like a robot reading a manual.
Right. And simultaneously, those extracted keywords from the LLM are passed to an image recognition system.
Okay, so it's doing two things at once.
Exactly. This visual system goes to work identifying and pulling highly relevant assets, imagery and footage that perfectly match the semantic context of the script.
That makes sense.
And finally, a video compiler acts as the director, stitching the audio, the visuals, and the text together into a cohesive final product.
So the LLM is essentially acting as the producer, identifying the visual cues, and handing those instructions off to the image fetching API so the visuals actually match the tone.
You got it.
It is like having an entire production studio living inside your computer. A writer, a voice actor, a visual researcher, and an editor, all working in perfect sync.
That is exactly what it is.
What is hard to wrap my head around is the speed. Generating a 60-second video takes only 2 to 5 minutes, depending on server load and complexity.
2 to 5 minutes.
I mean, we've all been there, spending hours just trying to find the right 5-second stock clip of someone typing on a laptop. Dropping that whole process to 2 minutes is a massive paradigm shift.
It fundamentally changes the equation of time versus output. When production time drops from hours to minutes, it allows you to rethink entirely how you approach video strategy.
But of course, to get to that point, you have to actually set the system up.
Right, the setup phase.
Here's where it gets really interesting, the way you actually interact with the tool. For anyone feeling a slight barrier to entry about using a terminal, the installation just requires basic terminal familiarity and an installed OpenClaw environment.
It is very straightforward.
Yeah, to install the skill, the command is simply OpenClaw skill install video factory. You verify it by typing OpenClaw skills list.
That's it.
But let's look at the daily use. Say you want to create a product demo, you type OpenClaw run video factory -- topic, quote, how to use content engine in a box, unquote, -- duration 60 -- style professional.
It is a standard package management approach. You're just tagging on these simple parameters to guide the orchestration we talked about earlier.
Right. And if you need platform-specific formatting, you just change the tags. You would type OpenClaw run video factory -- topic, quote, AI automation benefits, unquote, -- format, vertical -- platform TikTok.
It takes seconds to type, and the system knows how to frame, pace, and export for that specific network.
It really is that fast. But let's ground this in reality for a second. Pause right here, because this is where these tools usually lose people. What is the actual barrier to entry when it comes to the prerequisites? Because nothing is truly free.
That is a crucial point for anyone looking to adopt this. The AI Video Factory skill itself is completely free.
Okay, good to know.
You download it via the OpenClaw skill packs at no cost. However, the system relies on external services to do the heavy lifting. You, as the user, must configure your own API keys, the OpenClaw environment configuration file for the text-to-speech services and the image and video asset libraries.
So to use an analogy, the OpenClaw tool is the free venue, but you need to bring your own VIP passes to access the premium services operating in the back rooms.
That is a perfect way to look at it. You are paying for the raw materials. Depending on your production volume, most users end up spending between $50 and $500 monthly on API usage.
50 to 500.
Right. So while the orchestration tool is free, the compute power and the premium assets generated or fetched by those underlying APIs do have a cost.
Sure, but consider the alternative. If you are hiring a full-time video editor or even a freelancer, $50 to $500 a month is a fraction of the expense.
Exactly.
Especially when you factor in the massive scale we are talking about here.
Scale is the operative word.
Scale is really the defining feature. Let's transition into how this system handles volume, because this isn't just about making one video at a time. What shifts this from a neat trick to an enterprise tool is the batch processing.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, the batch processing feature is where the true enterprise value of this tool reveals itself.
Tell me more about that.
Well, you can feed it a batch file. The command is straightforward. It's OpenClaw run video factory -dev.
That parallel 5 flag is fascinating to me. You aren't just telling the system to make a list of videos sequentially, waiting for one to finish before the next begins. You are telling it to spin up 5 separate instances and render 5 different videos simultaneously.
And batch processing multiple videos adds minimal time overhead. You get an exponential increase in output without a proportional increase in wait time. You are parallelizing your creative output.
You could literally feed it a text file with 50 different topics before you step away from your desk and come back from lunch to a folder full of finished content.
Precisely.
But I have to ask the obvious question here. If I am generating 500 videos from a text file, aren't these going to look like those cheap, generic AI videos flooding the internet right now?
Yeah.
How does a company maintain its actual brand identity?
It is a totally valid concern, and it is addressed through comprehensive branding controls. You aren't locked into a single generic look.
Oh, that's a relief.
Yes, you can fully customize the templates. You input your specific brand X colors, upload your proprietary company logos, define your exact fonts, and set the overall visual style. The skill ensures that all this branding is applied consistently across every single media file it generates.
So the guardrails are set by you. If you are a company making 500 videos a month, every single one of them will look like it came directly from your official marketing department, not a random template mill.
Right, maintaining that trust and recognition.
And the deliverables are robust. The skill outputs MP4, WebM, and MOV files. It supports multiple aspect ratios too. Vertical 9:16 for TikToks and Shorts, horizontal 16:9 for YouTube, and square 1:1 formats.
It also provides SRT subtitle files.
Oh, that is huge.
It is essential not just for accessibility, but because a massive portion of the audience watches short-form video on mobile devices with the sound muted.
I do that all the time.
We all do. The tool also outputs metadata tailored for SEO optimization and analytics tracking codes to help you measure performance. It essentially manages the entire life cycle of the asset.
Which leads us perfectly into the application side of this technology. We understand the commands, the API setups, and the scaling, but who is actually using this day to day?
There are some great real-world examples.
Yeah, 5 highly specific use cases are outlined in the article, and they really paint a picture of how transformative this is for entirely different industries. Let's look at content marketers first. They are taking a single written blog post and using the batch processing feature to turn it into 10 to 15 different video variations every single week.
This is a massive workflow optimization for marketing teams. Instead of a team arguing over which hook or angle might work best for a campaign, they can afford to produce all of them.
Testing at scale.
Exactly. They use these variations for A/B testing and platform-specific repurposing. They let the audience analytics decide the winner because the cost of generating the variations is essentially zero.
The second group is e-learning platforms, which I think is a brilliant application. They are using AI Video Factory to automatically generate thousands of course intros and concept explanations.
It makes so much sense for education.
It does. Imagine being an instructor. Usually you have to sit in front of a camera for days, dealing with lighting and multiple takes, just to record all those little transitional videos for a massive online curriculum.
With this tool, every single chapter of a course can have a polished, professional introduction video generated automatically. It completely eliminates the demand on the instructor's time for routine content, allowing them to focus entirely on developing the deep, core educational material.
Then you have YouTube channels. We are talking about creators scaling up their output from, say, 2 to 3 highly produced videos a month to over 20 videos a month.
Just by offloading the heavy lifting.
Exactly. They do this by completely offloading the editing work. The creator gets to act as the strategist and the visionary, focusing on the ideas and the community, while the AI handles the grueling execution of actually cutting the footage together.
The fourth group is social media managers. Their biggest daily pain point is format fragmentation. Every platform demands a different aspect ratio and a different pacing style.
It is a nightmare to manage manually.
It is. This tool allows them to take one single script and instantly create platform-specific variations. From one input, they get a fast-paced 60-second YouTube short, a visually trendy 30-second Instagram reel, and a more polished, professional horizontal video for LinkedIn, all simultaneously.
It is the create once, publish everywhere dream finally realized without needing a team of 4 editors to chop up the master file.
Absolutely.
And the last use case solves such a specific corporate headache: SaaS support teams. Software as a service companies are using this to generate highly personalized onboarding videos tailored to specific customer segments.
Right, because usually creating personalized video at scale for support would completely overwhelm a team's bandwidth.
You can't have your support staff recording custom walkthroughs for every single microsegment of your user base.
But now, it is just a matter of running a script for each segment. A new user signs up, and they get a polished video specifically addressing how the software helps their exact industry, whether they are a dentist or a plumber. It dramatically improves product adoption without requiring human support agents to repeat the same demonstrations over and over again.
So what does this all mean? When you look at all these use cases together, you start to see where this fits into the broader philosophy of the OpenClaw platform. They bill themselves as the AI that actually does things.
Not just chat. Action.
Right. This isn't just about a chatbot giving you a recipe. It's about executing complex multi-step actions in the real world. And AI Video Factory does not exist in a vacuum. It is part of a much larger ecosystem.
That is where the multiplier effect truly happens. If you only use the Video Factory, you are saving hours of editing. But if you integrate it with other specific OpenClaw skills, you create a comprehensive automated pipeline from start to finish.
Give me an example of that pipeline.
For instance, there is a skill called Content Engine in a box. This tool auto-generates topic ideas and writes the scripts. You can pipe the output of that skill directly into the input of Video Factory.
So you have one AI identifying the topic and writing the script and handing it directly to the AI that renders the video. No human intervention required in between.
Precisely. Let's walk through a fully automated workflow. You can start with the Google Trends Extractor skill. It constantly monitors the web and automatically finds hot topics in your niche.
It finds the trend first.
Right. It feeds those trending topics into the content engine, which writes a script tailored to that trend. That script is automatically passed to the video factory, which generates the MP4.
It's incredible, and it goes even further. If you are focusing on social media, there is the AI-powered short-form video generator skill, which specializes in the unique pacing of platforms like TikTok.
Everything is modular.
Exactly. There's another skill called AI slides that takes your video scripts and automatically transforms them into synchronized presentation decks. So now you have a video and a slide deck from the same core idea generated while you sleep.
And once the media is rendered, it integrates with distribution tools. The pipeline can automatically hand the finished video to the WhatsApp AI chatbot skill to share it directly with your user base, or an AI sales agent to follow up with viewers and handle outreach.
You are essentially building a fully automated end-to-end media company out of simple terminal commands.
That is the reality we are stepping into.
It represents a fundamental shift in how we value digital labor. The execution phase of content creation, the editing, the sourcing of assets, the compiling is being entirely commoditized.
It is a complete disruption.
Which brings us to the core value proposition for you, the listener. AI Video Factory removes the massive bottleneck of manual video editing. Whether your strategy calls for 5 highly targeted videos a month or 500 variations for a massive A/B testing campaign, this tool scales to meet that need instantly.
Instant scale.
It allows anyone to focus 100% of their energy on content strategy, messaging, and ideas, rather than getting bogged down in the technical execution of moving clips around a timeline.
This raises an important question for you to consider about your own creative bottlenecks. If the sheer mechanics of video production were no longer an obstacle, how would your daily workflow change?
It's a great question to ask.
If you could produce 500 professional, perfectly polished videos for just a few $100s and a few minutes of processing time, what would you actually say? But there is a secondary ripple effect to this technology that is worth pondering.
What is that?
Well, if producing perfectly polished, highly professional AI video costs almost nothing and takes only minutes, how will the internet evolve to filter quality? We're about to see a massive influx of flawless media. Will the sheer volume of perfectly polished AI video make unpolished, raw human video the new premium commodity?
Oh, that is an interesting perspective.
It is entirely possible that in a world where technical perfection is automated and free, a video complete with stutters, pauses, and less than perfect lighting will become the ultimate proof of human authenticity.
Wow. If perfection is free, imperfection becomes priceless. That is a brilliant point to end on and something to really think about as these tools become the new standard. Well, that is all the time we have for today's deep dive into the AI Video Factory. We've covered the mechanics of the orchestration, the terminal commands, the API realities, and the massive implications of scaling up with this OpenClaw skill. Keep questioning how these ecosystems are shifting the landscape, keep learning, and really think about what you would build if all your production constraints entirely disappeared. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will catch you on the next deep dive.